All right.
100%.
Well, we're rolling.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, Kelsey. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm swell. I'm better than swell. So tonight we went here. Let me adjust my mic a little bit. That way I can face you. There we go. I think we're better there. Better
There you
now.
go. That works.
Okay. So tonight was probably not going to do the school like privacy. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
It's okay. No, what the heck? Desert Heights Preparatory Academy.
Nice.
They had the dance show for like the high school and junior high, so seventh, eighth, and then
Yeah,
all
that's
high
this
school.
weekend, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was phenomenal. It was
Awesome.
so I've watched the senior class um basically dance since fifth, sixth grade for them
Mm-hmm.
because I've known them,
Right.
and it's just crazy to watch their talent just progress.
Yeah.
And it's, oh my gosh, it's amazing. Like, and then watch. I mean, Jada Bell was in it. Kenzie will be in it next year.
Mm-hmm.
She'll be in it.
See, the thing, this is going to sound so weird, but for me, like seeing the kids grow up, it's weird because I still think that I'm so young. So watching them grow and taking those next steps and then reminding myself like how old I was when I did some of the things that they're doing
Mm-hmm.
and what they're experiencing. But I'm like, I'm still like in my teenage
You're
years.
still
I'm
in your
still 20.
teenage
What are you
years. Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about?
absolutely 20.
But it's like now we're thinking about that some of them are going off to high school. I remember
Oh my
going to my
gosh.
friends' kids' high school's graduations, and I thought that was a big deal. And now I have to plan on mine being in high school in a year.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I'm
Oh
not
yeah,
prepared for
yeah.
that.
Because Jada Bell's going into high school,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
can I say your son's name? Is that
Oh
right?
yeah, Hunter. Yeah.
Hunter. Shout out Hunter. What's up, dude?
I know he's going to eighth grade
Yeah.
next year.
Oh, that's awesome.
Going to be the big man on campus, and then
Oh
I
my
hope he
gosh.
gets ruined his freshman year.
Yeah.
Somebody puts him in his place a little bit.
A
He
little
just
bit.
needs to be brought down a little bit
Just a little
sometimes.
attitude
Just
adjuster.
a
All
little.
right, that's not bad. But I will shout out though, all the dancers and
That's
the
awesome.
dance tonight. It was awesome. They did a really great job.
Yeah. I was gonna say I think they were hoping to go tomorrow. So
Yeah, senior night tomorrow.
nice.
Yeah, so I think that'll be even better. It'll be packed tomorrow.
Oh,
Like it'll be
100%.
absolutely packed. But
Nice.
but it'll be fun.
So what you're telling me is get there early to get a seat?
Yeah, probably.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
So all right, I have a ton of stuff to talk about with you.
All right.
I mean, you and I could probably talk for hours and hours.
No, not us.
All right. So first thing I want to talk about, you have just this incredible, unique friendship
Mm-hmm.
with a group of ladies.
They're my hot mess. They're amazing.
Tell us about it a little bit.
Well, it's so crazy when you think about how interconnected we all were with it being such a small world. Like
Right.
it really all started with one woman, Tanya, who I attribute so much of my adult growth to as a mom and just kind of learning to navigate that life
Okay.
of being a single mom. And so she and I worked together, got super duper
That's how you
close.
guys met, right?
Yeah, we
Okay.
worked together at GCU for a few years, and
Huh?
I mean, man, she was a
At
part of my
GCU.
she was part of my higher education
What'd you do at
career.
GCU?
I started off as an academic advisor and then
Call center.
became a student services advisor and helped people with financing school and making
That's
it through
good.
their programs. And I was really lucky to work with a bunch of amazing nurses.
So you worked at GCU, graduated from ASU.
Yep, got my
Okay.
bachelor's at ASU, my master's at GCU. Kind of considering eventually doing a doctorate, but the idea
No
of
kidding.
writing a book is not high on my list right now. I'd
Yeah.
rather read them than write them. But, so Tanya invited me over one day. I will never forget this night. I still giggle to it every time. I am an only child. And so
Right.
I'm walking into a house with my son, who's maybe 6-7 months old at this
Okay.
point. So Tanya and her husband have 5 children. And so
Yep.
each of the kids are there. I think most of them have friends there as well. I walk into the door and one of their kids like takes my son for a minute, then hands him back to me. Music's blaring. Tanya's doing
Yeah.
dishes.
Yeah.
Sedona had puppies. And I just remember sitting there at her dining room table holding Hunter, and I'm just like so overwhelmed because I'm like, what is happening here? And
they just like embraced you.
but it was just, again, I'm an only child. So I came from a very quiet household, not saying that we didn't do stuff like that.
Right,
it was just, it was a very different situation. And I loved it. And it just kind of came connected. And when you get Tanya and in that house, her brother and sister-in-law, Mandy, were living next door. So,
oh my gosh, I remember that.
Yeah. And then Jeff was
those
playing.
Are fun times.
Yeah. Jeff was playing softball with a girl, Haley.
Wait, was the first night that you came over, was that the picture with Hunter, Jadabelle, and Carter? Was that?
No, I don't think that was the first night, but yeah, they were still.
We have a picture that we try to recreate like once a year or something now.
Yeah. So, I mean, what, they're all 6 months within each other?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Carter's like a month, and Jadabelle, and then,
Yeah. So, so Tanya's husband was playing softball with this girl, Haley.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Haley and Erica were really great friends, and were living together at the time.
So they came in.
Yeah. Okay. So we started off with the F5. That was the first crew.
Okay.
Of Tanya, Mandy, Haley, Erica, and I. We were a tornado. We're coming after you, Then we had a situation where Tanya had, I think, reconnected with friends from high school, which was Dawn and Janice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dawn's best friend, Bree, was part of that introduction as well. And then Tanya's other sister-in-law, Sarah, who, is amazing. And then we've got Susan. So Scooter and Jeff became really close. Sure, he introduced us to Susan, who, once you meet Susan, you can't live without her in your life.
Shout out to all you.
Yeah. So I'm like, you've got 10 of us. We range anywhere. I think there's a 22-year age difference between the youngest and oldest.
That's cool.
And we get along. And we have varying levels and degrees of friendships just because some of us have known each other longer than others.
Yeah.
And just because of different connections and how things go, but we all support each other. We all, boost each other's up. We're honest with each other, and we celebrate it all.
So, okay. You said there's 10 of you?
Yeah, there's 10 of us.
There's got to be drama at times.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. How do you guys go through or get through, whether it be a bad fight, a little fight, like something that just irritates the crap out of you? Like, how do you just work through it?
Sometimes we'll call each other out. Like, there will be times where
you're just being a bitch.
Nah, it's not necessarily that. I know it's not. I don't think it's ever been like a "you're being a bitch" type of a thing, but it's been like I really didn't appreciate the way you said that, or I didn't like what you said, and I'm like, okay, and just like with anything, you have your sister moments, right? Where it's like you're super close and you just need a minute, right? But I think one of the funniest times, it was really, I think, difficult, but it was one of the best things that we did. We all went over to one of our friends' houses and had our feet in the pool, and we just hashed it out. We were outside for probably about 2 hours. There were tears, there was laughter, there was everything, but we laid it out on the table. And the fact that we can be honest with each other is what's important.
It helps, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, can you take the constructive honesty back?
In most cases, yes.
That's good.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's going to hurt, right? But it takes personal growth to be able to look at it sometimes.
Yeah, personal growth.
I think it's hilarious that Dawn and I have the exact same birthday. Well, she and I we're 11 years apart to the day. So she literally texted me the other day. She's like, just so you know, I had it first. And I'm like, I hate you, but I love you. But I'm like, you put the two girls who are only children, right? So raised not differently, but it's difficult to sometimes with some of the social stuff when you didn't have siblings to kind of bounce the ideas off of or see that difference. I can be a brat. I can be selfish. It is what it is, right? And I will talk about my only child moments, but it took us a bit to share our birthdays and understand. And we came to the understanding of that big years. So like 5s and 0s, it's their year. It's their important year. She's turning 50 this year. And I'm like, people are like, what are you guys doing for your birthday? I'm like, it is Dawn's birthday. Like, I don't feel like celebrating this year because this is a huge milestone for her. And I want her to have that spotlight to an extent. But it took us understanding each other from that aspect of both being only children to work through how we were able to share with it. And now it's, we talk about planning May birthdays, we try to just always celebrate everyone and make sure that they're involved and get their individual time. But at the same time, we enjoy doing things together.
See, that helps. Mm-hmm. I've shared my birthday, not with anybody specific, although I think there's some famous people I share a birthday with, like Angelina Jolie. So that's weird.
I don't know. I had never met anybody that had my same birthday, and then all of a sudden, once I got to college,
you were not alone in this world.
No, I was just like, all of a sudden, I'm like, there was like a girl that lived on my hall freshman year who had the same birthday, and then you've got Scooter's uncle who's got the same birthday. So you've got like Don, Michael, and I were all on the 30th. Like we've done parties together beforehand, and it's just we make it a good time.
What's funny is like we name drop everybody that we know, right?
Right. And they're like, who are these people?
Some of the audience, hopefully a lot of the audience, if anybody watches, know these names. But you hear the name like Scooter, like Dawn, Janice, Susan, like those names, you're like, oh yeah, okay, like okay, that's whatever. You hear Scooter and you're like, tell me about Scooter. That's what I would be like if I was just listening. I heard the name Scooter, I'd be like, what's that guy like?
Yeah. Got the name for scooting around because he refused to crawl, and I'm like,
there you
go. Doesn't shock me then, please. But so it's I attribute a lot of it to Tanya to bringing us all together, or at least like introducing us. Yeah. And Tanya's world is this big. Anywhere she goes, she knows somebody, right? And so
I think that's true.
To have all of us be introduced to that way, and like I said, we love each other, we care about each other, we support each other, but we also support each other's families too, right?
Oh, that's good. That helps.
I love their kids. My son, he thinks of them all as aunts, right? Like he, and so for me being an only child and then having a kid that's an only, like he's got a half brother, but in our household it's just him, right? So to have that closeness that extends then also to our kids and each other, like he gets so mad when he misses out on stuff. He's like, why do you guys always do the fun stuff when I'm not around?
That ain't fair.
Like, sorry, like I can't help it, but it's become an extended family. That's good. And it's allowed both of us to experience something that we didn't necessarily have earlier on.
Sure. That's awesome. That's I would say you're definitely blessed and good for you.
100%. Like I said,
I mean, you all are blessed, but I mean, good for you.
For 10 women to get along as well as we do,
smokes,
right? Like I said, I wouldn't say that there's cliques, but there's definitely like closer relationships within, but we never let that deter from the group.
Yeah.
And, we always think about each other, and, it's.
If any of you need help, you'll all be there.
100%.
See, that's good. That's awesome. So I'm going to bring up family camping at this point.
Oh, goodness.
Okay. So that's a friends and family camping. Okay.
Which I was not a camping girl.
Were you
ever?
Were you at the first one, the initial, very first one?
Yes. So actually,
that was I think I brought the quad, the 4-wheeler.
So my first ever camping experience, I think Hunter was 2.
Oh wait, no, that wasn't my first one.
No. So the first time I ever went, it was Tanya's family. Yeah. And I think me and maybe one friend.
When you first went?
When I first went, I didn't have a tent. I didn't have anything. Oh, I literally showed up with a chair and a cooler, I think. And they're like, we've got everything else you need. I'm like, okay. Because I have never done this before.
We've done that for several people.
Yeah. So then the next year, I think we added some of the F5 group came in.
Hold on. I'm going to pause it for a second. I got the dogs barking. Sorry, everybody. Okay. Sorry about that.
I'm good. So family camp.
Yeah. So family camping.
Yeah. So my first one, it was a small group. And then I think it extended to F5. I'm not sure if it was my second or third year was the year that we had the zip line.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We bring a zip line, or we used to bring, we haven't brought it in a couple of years, but the zip line was a hit.
Yeah. Because I mean, where we like to go, Tale of Two Cities, is what they call it, campsite. That
Mm-hmm.
one doesn't have, I don't think has the right like trees. Like there's just really,
No,
and the
not
kids
really.
just got
Yeah.
older. But
Yeah.
I remember the year with the zip line, the first year, um, I think I was helping to cook or we were like making
Oh
something and
yeah. The
hanging out.
breakfast. Yeah.
And I hear, all of a sudden I hear, you have to watch out. Look up. He fell off. And then Haley looks at me. She's like, Kelsey, just turn around. I'm like, great. And Hunter had slid his butt off of the zip line. So he's just literally
Dangling and hanging on.
holding on. Luckily, they like slowly just brought him down.
Yeah.
He was fine. He wasn't super far up. But
Oh,
from
that's
that
funny.
point, they're just like, you guys, you can't like try to like yank it up too quickly and stuff.
Man,
But
if I would have thought of it, I would have thrown up a video from like the zip lining. I didn't even
oh
think of it.
yeah, oh man, the Jeff's teaching the kids about snipe hunting.
Oh,
Still
snipe
one of the
hunting.
best.
Still one of the best.
One
yeah.
of the best things ever.
Yeah,
But
snipe hunting.
yeah,
Mhm.
now it's something that my son looks forward to every year.
Yeah.
I look forward to every year. I never thought I would be the one that did not care about going for 3 days without showering in the woods and like
the
and
what do we call it?
freeze your butt off.
The cheap baths where you're using body wipes and
yeah,
and crap like
the
that.
baby wipes. It's we restock
Or-
up on the Costco thing of baby wipes,
Yep.
and
Or we'll bring a 7-gallon water
Mhm.
and use that to kind of
yeah. I'm pretty
freshen
sure
up.
Erica
and-
helped me wash my hair a couple years ago. So,
But I mean, Jeff really, and shout out to Jeff. Jeff said he'd make him on, so audience, you know,
oh yeah, he's
hopefully Jeff will
incredible.
come on. Yeah. But he brings up like the 50-gallon
Mm-hmm.
barrel of water and all that, so
Yeah.
that was cool. That helps
Yeah,
out.
they bring up water for 2 weeks where it's like so people can brush your teeth, we can wash dishes. I mean, like we have a full
Function.
we have a full kitchen and
Yeah.
everything, and so it's like we make a menu. You bring enough for your family or your crew, and we all just cook it together and share, and everyone just has a great time. I mean, we've had a couple years of what we call the Great Flood.
Oh, yeah.
Where we try to set up tents and it started raining.
That's a good. Oh my gosh!
And then
as big of a pain in the ass as it is when it rains when you're camping, it makes for some of the most memorable experiences.
The last time that it rained, I remember I looked at like Tanya and somebody else. We had a speaker going, music was playing, we're under tarps.
Yeah.
And she's just like, I'm not even mad. She's like, I don't know where this came from. I don't even know what to do. I had a river going between my tent and my tarp. So I remember I ended up like with the way my tent is, right? It's an easy up, so you just drop it, and then I pretty much have to
you have
I have
a
to
really
like
good
bear
tent.
hug it,
Yeah,
right,
you have a
to
good
put
tent.
it into to zip it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember I turned around and I was just like covered from here down and all down my arms and stuff like that. I just had mud. And I was like, awesome. This is going to be fantastic to drive home in.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that was 2022. That was.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Holy smokes.
Because that was the year I bought my car. So that's how I just attribute it. So.
What do you drive now?
A Durango. I love that thing. It's my
wait. No. You got the fancy one, right? The fun one.
The Hammy.
Yeah. That's a fun one. That's a good one.
Oh, yeah. I've got 3 dogs. I've got a kid.
Yeah. Sure.
I wanted to be able to like drive his friends around if he needed to. Mm-hmm. And with him going into sports, you've got the bag and you've got everything you need to do.
And why not? If you can afford it, just,
I mean, it was a bit of a struggle initially, but I wouldn't change it for anything. I love that car. I will drive it till it dies.
Are you a car girl?
I wouldn't say I'm a car girl necessarily, but I like nice things. So
that's right. All right.
I work really hard to afford nice things, so I'm kind of picky, but
I've realized, like, I think I always knew, like, I was definitely a car guy. Like, I just like them.
I love
sometimes I
looking
like
at them,
working
I
on them.
Appreciate them.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. But
like, I still want an electric car. I don't know what electric car, and I don't know why.
I've ridden in them.
Like,
they seem cool.
Yeah.
But
I just want to probably have one for like a couple of years until I'm like, all right. I don't think electric cars are probably like the future car.
I'm not gonna lie. I wonder why we got away from hybrids. Like I thought.
Yeah, I was kind of curious about. I thought it was a good idea. Like
yeah, I know a bunch of people that had them. They loved them, right? And it didn't rely one way or the other,
Yeah.
right? And I
It's
think
like a
that,
mutual beneficial relationship.
yeah, and it was like the gas lasted longer. It was like a better type of,
Yeah.
situation overall. So I wonder why we got away from that, because I think it was a good mix.
Seemed like a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. I'm probably going to look that up tonight while I'm, laying in bed doing nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
That's pretty good. So the one thing I wanted to say about family camping before I got caught on your, on
We go on
the
tangents.
Durango, I think one of my favorite. There's two favorite things I have. One, I love going to everybody's like individual campsite because everybody sets up their campsite their own ways. It doesn't
Right.
matter. Like we have, so just so everybody knows, we have like a big communal fire.
Pit. Yeah.
Is that a pit at that point?
Well, it depends on which location we go to,
Like
because
it's
one of them,
it's
it looks like
effing
a
huge.
big,
It
it
is
looks like a huge
huge.
horseshoe. Like there's been a couple
Oh
where
my gosh, the
you can almost
horseshoe.
like walk in the middle of it. So
Yeah.
it's like it's horseshoed around, and
It's awkward. It's weird sometimes, but it's awesome. Like
Mhm.
especially going in the middle, you're like, it's probably dangerous with all the smoke coming in here, but it's kind of neat.
just trying to keep the dogs out of there sometimes
Yeah.
is not like when it's the fire's going, but when it's not
Yeah.
in certain areas, we're like, no, we just don't want the dogs to hurt themselves. But yeah, I mean, to think about it, you've got 75 to 90 people and 15 to 20 dogs.
Yeah.
And
last year we had like 30 dogs, I thought.
yeah,
God,
it was probably,
it was
but and I mean, for the most part, the dogs get along well. We, the ones that may or may not like each other, we kind of keep them away, and
yeah, that's
everyone
true.
has an understanding. And
The other thing I like is seeing the new people that show up that you get to meet for sometimes just that year.
Yep.
Or sometimes
or just that day.
Right. Or just that day. The other thing I really enjoy is the people that come up, like maybe they didn't make it for the last year or 2 years, and all of a sudden here they are, and it's like a surprise. Like they'll only tell like a couple people, and you're like, oh hey, what's going on?
Yeah, when like Matt and Alexis, who drove from California, literally like she gets off work, they pack up and drive from California, don't tell any of us, and pull into camp at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and
That's
we're like,
funny.
who is this person?
Who the heck
we're
is
like,
this?
oh, are they so and so's?
Maybe they're lost.
And then all of a sudden we see one of her dogs, and all of us are like, that's Alexis and Matt.
That's awesome.
It was fun. And what I like too is that sometimes it's it's the one time a year where the kids will see each other, right?
Yeah,
and
a lot of times, yeah.
So it's like they get to, we've taken some of the kids out to go shooting.
Yep.
They throw, they look forward to getting in the back of the truck and just riding around in the dirt, and they
oh my gosh, yeah, the truck rides. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
They break off sticks, and
they camp, they hang out, they be kids.
There's no electronics. There's
nobody uses no. I mean, barely, except to take pictures, really.
Yeah.
And there's always music going of some sort. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
All right. So this is a drastic change. I don't know if I want to drastic change it that hard.
No, why not?
Okay, we're talking about kids.
Okay.
So you're technically a single parent. I mean, his dad's obviously in the picture.
Yeah, very much so. I cannot even begin to tell you how much I appreciate how much he loves and cares for him. Even though it didn't work for us, we hashed it out, I think, when he was 2. And
good co-parenting.
Yeah, we talk. I see him every other weekend. We'll let each other know about like I'll be like, hey, grades are slipping. He checks in. Like we support him in that aspect. Even though we may not always agree on everything, at the end of the day, we put him first, and that's what's important.
That helps. That's really good. What's it like for you? Like he's 13 now.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm okay shouting out his age. Sorry.
That's fine.
And I guess I should tell you, if there's anything we talk about that you don't want me to, just let me know, and I'll get that crap right out. So yeah, single parenting, like,
I am not going to lie. I wish that I had probably tried harder in the dating world when he was younger than now. I think that, at first it was always, I had that fear of that if another woman came into his dad's life, that I would be replaced, right? So there was that like
So somebody did
unrealistic.
come in though, right? He doesn't
Yeah,
he have a stepmom now?
he does. And she's been in his life since he was born. So
That's
I mean,
awesome.
she's
Okay.
been around. She and I, same type of thing. We kind of hashed it out early.
Yeah.
They have a son together, and
Oh, right on.
so it took some time, but we have a mutual understanding and respect for each other.
Yeah.
It's at the end of the day, I always looked at it of that it eventually became a we weren't replacing, but I just want somebody to love my kid
Yeah,
as
for
much
sure.
as I do,
Yeah.
right? And to be there to be a support in that aspect, and she is. She's
Yeah.
been incredible
That's
from that
awesome.
aspect. Um, but I think that I had so many fears personally, and I still do, about introducing somebody to
Ooh.
him because
Yeah, that's got to be tough.
when he was a baby or like when he was younger, this is going to sound terrible, but if somebody was in and out of his life, it wasn't very impactful. He's now 13.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's
now it's going to
like,
be everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
he would be building a relationship with them.
And
And
not
if
only
they
that,
had
now
kids,
he's going to
like,
be now Hunter's going to be judging them too.
mm-hmm,
Like,
right?
and hopefully in a fair manner, right?
100%.
But
It's what am I going to be comfortable,
right.
you know, showing affection or receiving it, and like what that's
Mm,
going to be like. And there's just new boundaries. And
that's wild.
yeah, it's weird to think about. I will admit I've had a lot of probably super irrational fears over the years that I've had to
Fair enough. Yeah.
work through. But
Yeah.
I think my biggest fear is introducing somebody that could potentially leave or
Yeah.
break his heart as much as they would break mine. And
But
it's not that I'm not willing to take the
yeah.
risk, but I am very guarded and protected. And so I have decided that I'm going to make my intentions clear. And if you don't respect that, then I have no intention of giving you my time. I'm not willing to settle. I'm incredibly content and happy in my life, but
Right.
I would love to have somebody to share it with.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, I'm not looking for, you know, something casual and just looking for a
No.
hookup type thing,
No.
So I just,
You're looking for, hey,
yeah, I set my
I'm
boundaries, and I'm
yeah.
very upfront with what I want. And I figure I would rather get that out of the way and just be very clear about what my movements are. And
As you should.
yeah,
And I mean, to be fair, at I'm not going to call it your age, but I'm just saying like um I think
I'm close to midlife crisis.
there you
No, I'm
go.
just kidding.
There you go. That's fair enough. Fair enough. But I mean, at your age, I think it is one healthy and just completely.
Well,
I don't know the word I'm looking for, but I guess it should be expected that
mhm,
whoever you're going on a date with or meet or whatever,
mhm.
I think that expectation is already there. Like, I'm probably not just gonna casually hang out with this woman, and if it is, like that guy should just probably be throat punched.
Well, so it's actually incredibly funny because prior to us starting this, you had mentioned something about something you had heard at church. And
Mm-hmm.
actually,
Mm-hmm.
it was at your baptism
Oh,
that I kind of had I don't want to say revelation, but a reaffirming of where I was at and what I was feeling and working towards, because they were talking about contentment. And I think that Pastor Dan had made a comment about um what was it? It was like being single in that hookup culture.
oh
And
yeah,
I was
yeah.
literally before church messaging with somebody and kind of planning on maybe just having a hookup situation. And I know it was one of those things. I
Sure.
can't believe I'm about to say this,
No, by all means.
then
I
I'm
really
there.
appreciate your vulnerability.
Yeah. So then I'm there in
Vulnerability.
church, I'm listening to it all, and I realized that I wasn't willing to let go of my contentment, and that I wasn't willing to just give into the physical need from that
Right.
perspective,
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted more.
See, that's good. That's a
And
big realization.
yeah, and
That's awesome.
it was so crazy that it just so happened that the only reason that I was there that day was because you were getting
Yeah.
baptized.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to have a message hit so closely to home, and
He's so good at it, isn't he?
he's fantastic. And So I left that day and I didn't. And I'm still
Good for you.
very happy that I didn't, because now my intention is still there.
Yeah.
And I am more confident and affirmed in that decision because of it.
That's awesome. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate the
Yeah.
share on that. So, okay, since you kind of brought that up, can I ask, and if you don't want to talk about it, just we can bypass it, not a big deal. Dating world right now for you. But I mean, what is it like? Because I have several thoughts and comments,
Uh-huh.
but I want to hear it from your perspective.
So crazy enough, Janice's husband,
Yeah,
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 Jason,
yeah.
we were talking.
I want Jason to come on here, by the way.
Yeah, I love him so
Yeah, I
much.
love
He's
talking to
so
Jason.
funny.
Yeah, I
Like,
just love talking to
he
him.
is just a silent,
Yep.
like a secret killer. Like, he
Mhm.
just, once you get to know him, he's incredible.
Mhm.
But we were at, so Scooter was playing in a dart tournament.
Okay.
So it's Susan, Janice, Dawn, and I, and we're talking, right? And Jason comes there, and we started talking about dating, and he gave me an opposite perspective that I never thought, because I have always wanted to be pursued, right? I think that
Okay.
that intention is there. It's, I want somebody to take the lead. I am in a leadership position. I want to be able to fall into more of a feminine side and
Mhm.
not have to be the girl boss, right? I girl boss really hard.
Right,
And
yeah,
now I'm
sure.
like, I would really like to not have to constantly make the decisions. And I would like somebody to take that lead and support and like be able to step back from that. So I want to be pursued. I want more of that interaction. And he was mentioning to me that, you know, for a while, for guys, they may, let's say, go out to a bar and
Yeah.
offer to buy a girl a drink, and she turns him down. And then another
Yep.
one turns him down, and another one turns down. And eventually they're at a point to where they're not going to make the move. He's like, so you as the female may have to, because they've been turned down by 50, 100 different women, and that confidence may have been hit. And so they're just like,
Oh,
I'm
completely.
not going to make that step anymore. I'm going to want her to. And so I actually took that and will sometimes make that move, or at least make it very clear that I am interested.
Good.
Right? Please make your move on that. But then I also find it very interesting that you could have somebody that you're talking to, right?
Mhm.
You're just getting to know them, but they're giving you the intention, they're giving the communication,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden it just stops.
Mhm.
And then you're like, did I say something? Did something else come along? Like,
Right.
I don't care if I'm not the person for you.
Yeah.
Right? Just be upfront with it, be honest with it. But to just kind of have somebody that you've talked to every day just all of a sudden not be there anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I will
Like,
match
okay.
your energy. I will match your intention.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to come begging for
Right.
it.
No, not, and that I think should be,
like, sometimes just sit there and say, you know what, it's been great talking to you, but this
doesn't work.
Either we're not putting the effort to meet, so I want to meet with somebody in person,
Right.
or take the initiative, plan something, let's meet.
Are you
see
using
if it's there or
dating
not.
apps?
Yes, they're ridiculous.
That's okay. There's no judgment. I've been on dating apps. Like, there's no
They're
judgment
terrible,
from me at all.
but
I don't. Well,
I'm not gonna lie. I've actually met some people too that I just
all right,
get along with really well too.
So you've been very honest, and I appreciate it. And one thing I really hope for on this podcast is I really, really just want truth.
Yeah.
And love, like those two things, but complete. So I'm going to tell you, I met somebody on fill in the blank, whatever dating app it was. I don't even remember. And she was incredible. Like, she was awesome. And we clicked in so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
And it came down to where I was just like, I really apologize. I'm not ready for, or not that I wasn't ready. I was just like, I don't think I want a relationship at that point in my life. It's not that I wasn't ready. I just didn't want one. And we parted, on nice terms. And I was like, and this is probably me being just dumb and naive, but I was like, if it's cool, maybe I can text you from time to time. She's like, no. She's like, I understand and I appreciate it, but no.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, and that's fair. I appreciated the honesty.
It was funny. I was talking to a guy earlier this year, and we had actually made plans to go and meet. And then unfortunately, his mom, or at least according to what he says,
Yeah.
right, his mom had a health scare.
Okay.
Right. And so, he kind of was going through all of the emotions, but he was willing to be vulnerable enough to share what was going through his head. Right. And I was just like, I appreciate your vulnerability. I appreciate you being honest with me. And we had continued to kind of talk. And I eventually said to him, like, listen, you've got a lot going on. I think you need more of a friend. I'm happy to be that person for you and to be that friend if you need it. But you've got stuff to figure out.
Yeah, you got to figure
right
stuff
now.
out.
And it was just that. And we parted on good terms.
That's good.
I checked in from him from time to time, really just kind of like asking how his mom
how
was.
are you? How's your mom?
Yeah. And that is what he needed at that point. That's but good. I just made it clear. I'm like, my intention is to date to marry.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, if you don't want marriage, that's fine. Go find somebody who doesn't.
Right.
If you want more kids, great for you. I am done.
Yeah.
Is that a deal breaker? Because I'm just going to put it out there before I invest my time in getting to know you and letting my emotions or my feelings grow. I need to know if those deal breakers are there or not.
So if I have any of my friends that text me and they're like, hey, can you give me her info? Do you want me to send you their info?
Of course. Because I'm not going to lie. I would actually much rather meet somebody through a friend because I'm like,
it helps sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. You have an understanding of them. Right. And so you're also going to be like, you are also probably going to tell them like you probably can't handle her or like,
or in reverse, they're probably not a piece of crap. Like they're probably all right. Like you're friends with them for a reason.
Right.
Now, to be fair, I have a lot of love. I love a lot of people. So they may not be the best person in the world. So my judge of character may not always be.
I'm not looking for perfect. I'm not going to lie. So, Rhonda. We all love Rhonda. She was.
Oh, Rhonda. Wow. First time she's been brought up on this podcast.
One of the most incredible women. Her love for music, her love for life. She was just fantastic. She did my hair for years. And I remember she told me before she met Mike.
Yeah.
She had created a list of what she wanted in a man.
Oh, okay.
And so I did too. Haley did it.
I was like, I swear I had the same conversation with Haley.
She ended up meeting David.
Shut the front door
afterwards. And so I still look at it from time to time. I still have it.
Good.
And there are certain things that haven't changed for me. There are certain things that I'm obviously willing to give on a little bit more, but I think it's important for you to know yourself enough to know what you are willing to give and give not on. And because you're going to have to compromise in relationships, right? So what is it that you're willing to, you're just like, these are my deal breakers, these are not, but what is it that you want and be willing to look for it?
Yeah, that's good. So is there, okay. We're coming up on high school graduation.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Okay. Right. All right. Well, not just high school.
I'm not ready for that. We're not talking about that yet.
High school. Well, no, not us, but I mean the time of year. Yeah. It's graduation, high school, college graduation.
Proms, all the things.
Oh, can I just say how absolutely not, I'm not pissed. I'm
Are
sad.
corsages and boutonnieres still a thing? Please tell me they're still a thing.
Good grief. I hope so.
Because let me make my son, he's going to buy them for girls.
Yeah, I think so. I think I saw prom pictures this year.
Good.
And I think
that's important. They're so pretty.
Okay, shout out to anybody that went to prom. If just text me or hit us up, message, whatever, and just let us know.
Yeah, get your girls some flowers on prom, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
We always like the flowers, even if they say they don't.
They do. Oh, they do. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. No, but so we're coming up to that. Hold on, I was going somewhere with this. Let me try to remember. What were we talking about before this?
Coming up on graduations.
Yeah, no, before that.
We're talking about relationships, compromise.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. We do this all the time. So let's go back to when, let's say you're high school.
Okay.
I don't care. Pick a year.
Okay.
You're looking at your future because, you went to college and everything. So I assume you had, let's say, goals, life goals.
100. Yeah.
Okay. How did they go?
Ooh, honestly,
Blame the movie on Netflix. I think that's out right now because Erica, my
because
second guest, Erica Simmons,
mm-hmm,
made me and Vanessa watch it last week. Dude, I I
I
literally was like,
so
oh, I almost cried.
it's
Oh,
so funny. I think that there are so many things in my life that if I was in high school, I would be ashamed of myself
okay,
for. Um, and certain things I am incredibly surprised that I'm in here. So my mother's dad, my grandfather,
okay.
incredibly smart. My mom's brother, same thing. I mean, they're literal astronomers, rocket scientists. Like
Oh,
they
awesome.
are
Okay,
incredibly smart. My grandfather was the chief scientist of the Air Force. He went to Yale. He was just all of the things,
yeah.
right? Made fun of me in his eulogy. I think I was 8 or 9. You know, I'm a cute little
Right.
towhead blonde girl, you know, just the epitome of you're lucky you're pretty, right? Type of a thing. And so he had made a comment about how he would love for me to go to Yale, but didn't think that that was in my future.
Wow. Okay.
And so, you know, I'm young. It got
And
a
that's
good
okay that
laugh,
it's not in your
right?
future, but
I
yeah,
am I am not the Ivy League
yeah,
girl, right? But I went to Arizona State.
yeah.
I changed my major from business to family and human development because of a human sexuality class my sophomore year. Um, I was thinking about going. Actually, I was looking into University of Wisconsin to go for my
Nice.
master's
Go
because I was
Badgers.
thinking about doing.
Here, hold on. Where's my?
Yeah, I know
Oh,
it's
you
right
can't see
there.
it.
I was thinking about
It's my
doing marriage and
sweatshirt.
family therapy, and Arizona State was getting rid of that program, so I couldn't go there.
Okay.
I graduated. I was in the service industry. I bartended, served for a long time,
Yeah.
which I
Right.
believe everyone should do. I loved it.
Is that right?
Yeah, love it. I honestly would go back and
If
do
we
it.
have time, maybe we'll come back to that because Vanessa did that for a while too,
Yeah.
and it
It
was
was
awesome.
it was a lot of fun, and so because of that, you know, I just it was easy money. I could do the hours. Everything was fine.
Right.
Um, where was I going with that? But so I was when I was considering going to my master's and I was looking at moving out of state, happened to also coincide with when I got pregnant.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So I'm at that point to where I'm like, I've got no ties to anything. I don't
Yeah.
have a career. Like I need to make a change. I was considering moving to the Midwest. I just needed to get out of Arizona. And boom, surprise, God has different plans for me.
Yeah.
I had just started at GCU because I had a
Okay.
customer, I had a couple that came in every Thursday. Loved them. I would sit and chat with them.
When you were bartending, or
When
okay.
I would serve and bartend. This is
Yeah.
at RTO Sullivan's in Glendale.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Which is funny enough where I reconnected with Hunter's dad, but it was at the Mesa location. Loved RTOs. They are great people. Still love them to
Yeah.
death. So I was talking to them and he had just gotten hired. He's like, well, if you ever want, I'll refer you. Perfect. So he refers me for a position. It was for enrollment. They talked to me and they're like, we think you'd be better for academics. I'm like, okay, I'm definitely not the sales girl, but I'll do customer
Right.
service all day. And I had my first interview. I had my second interview on a Saturday. I got offered the job
On
on
a
Monday.
Saturday, you had an interview?
I did. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. And so I had an interview on a Saturday. They hired me on Monday. I started the following Monday and I ended up getting
Dang.
pregnant 4 months later. And
Wow.
because of that, I hit my 1 year a month before he was born. So I was able to take the full time off. And because I got pregnant, I very quickly knew that I needed to change my situation. So I bought a house, which I then turned around 4 years later, sold for a profit to buy the house I'm in
you bought
now.
at a good time. Sure.
Yeah. I bought a 1,300 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house for $93,000.
Holy smokes. Holy smokes.
Yeah. But it afforded me the opportunity
Wow.
I sold that. I'm in the house that I've been in for the last 9 years.
Yeah. And your house is beautiful.
And it's an amazing neighborhood, great school district. He's got friends that he's had since kindergarten, but it all stemmed from being a bartender.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good story.
Yeah. And then I remember my aunt just a few years ago on Thanksgiving, she's like, Grandpa Jerpy, or no, Grandpa Buckheim never would have thought that you would have been working in higher education. I have now been in the higher education field for 15 years.
Yeah.
Love it. I it's changed my mind about college.
Hmm.
I work in the financial aid world, so with all the
Yeah.
talk about student loans and Department of Education, all
Such
of it,
bullshit. Sorry.
it's a lot, right? But
I mean, I'm not, I get student loans. I had them. And I'm not knocking people for taking, like, I completely get it.
I mean, if I'm being completely honest, student loans have a lower interest rate than a lot of the personal
Oh,
loans
right,
and
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. So there
Yeah.
are some benefits as long as you don't take advantage of it. And my biggest mindset change was get into a skill. If you
Yeah.
go to college, go because you're going into a program that you need it.
Dude, I went to school for television motion picture productions. And then through my job, I took business classes as well. I hated it. Absolutely hated it. God, I hated it.
Yeah, it was
I'm
economics that
still on
ruined me.
I'm still on the business side. Like, I did television motion picture, like, I did it for fun. Like, I did, it was like a hobby essentially, and it was fun. I did a lot of really cool projects I was, very proud of. But work wise, like, I've been in a call center for 20 something years. I think like maybe 20 years. I don't know, whatever. And like, as much as it has sucked, and it has, there's so many times where I'm like, I wish
please get me out of
that
here.
I could win the lottery, or, I would figure something out. And because it's not that I was miserable at my job. I loved everybody I worked with. The work was interesting enough, obviously, to keep me going. Like, I went through risk management, like everything I did. And it led me to where I'm at now. And I think I'm at a pretty good place in my life. I worked my ass off to get here.
100%.
Like, people are like, "Oh, you've got an easy ticket." No. Oh, no. I worked my ass off to get where I'm at, people. No. I grew up poor. I completely, you want to talk about syrup sandwiches? I know syrup sandwiches. But working where in the financial industry, I learned some of the coolest stuff, and I'm at the weirdest job right now where I'm like, I can't believe they need people to actually do this. Like, it makes no sense to me still. But I get to do it, and I'm like, it's kind of neat.
Well, and it's not like the financial aid world. There's certain things that change every year and there's certain things that stay the same, right? But for me, what reinvigorates me through it all is seeing the joy of somebody graduating.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
And then especially like if their first time ever in college, right? So it's like you're the one that's helping them to get their documents together. You're the one that's encouraging them to take that step. And sometimes, at the current location that I'm at, some of our programs are 9 months, some of them are 2 years. There's tech, there's healthcare, there's veterinary assisting, there's a lot of different
like specialized fields.
Yeah, very much so. But it's all difficult. It requires the investment. It's it's not
Do
free.
they do pretty well after they graduate? Like, they get good jobs and
so I mean they're
like
required to do they're required to do an externship, but it's a skill, and and for me, I've always been passionate about the customer service side of it, right? Yeah, there's numbers, there's laws we have to stay in, there's compliance, there's all of that you have to know, but seeing somebody finish that. Yeah. I sometimes love talking to the nursing students. I'm like, give me all of your clinical stories.
Do you know anybody?
Love it.
Oh my gosh. I want my sister to come on so bad. Mathia, if you listen to this, please come on, hang out and talk to me. Yay. We'll talk some stories. It'll be so much fun.
Yeah, but
do you know anybody graduating right now?
No. So that's the part that's hard for me is that I was at a point to where, I loved volunteering at graduation. It was one of my favorite things to do. I always did regalia. So it's like getting them dressed in their cap and gown and getting them through that exciting part of it and getting that celebration is just, it's so renewed why I was there. And I really don't talk to students that much anymore. I'm more so now training, coaching people to do the role, right? And so now it's more of the numbers and the motivation and the, the training them how to talk to people. It's amazing how many people don't know how to talk to people anymore, or don't want to do the in-person appointments. Like they're okay over the phone, but man, you put a person in front of them.
Oh. I will say it is very interesting. Hopefully I don't piss anybody off saying this. And if I do, I'm not trying to piss anybody off. It's just, this is what I'm seeing in my current job. Younger people, for the most part, will come in and they get a job, and it's a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they have been working for a while or not, I doubt it, because they're quite young.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a social, like just interaction, just like a normal office interaction that you have with people, right?
Yeah.
That they don't have.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like a simple hi, and you're like, oh my God, this person's saying hi to me. What do I do? And I'm like, say hi.
We talk about those keyboard warriors, right? Those people that
say that again. The what?
Keyboard warriors. The people that are more confident saying things on their keyboard, like typing it in a comment versus saying,
okay, yeah.
So
you're not talking about the assholes that sit and just like send hate comments to everybody, right?
To an extent it is, but it's created such a divide, in my opinion, between communication, right? Some people are more confident being open and communicating, whether it's through text message, whether it's through that virtual aspect of it, than having a conversation. And it's something I worry about more so, I think, for my son than maybe for our generation, or maybe the one like right afterwards, because we still at a point we're forced to, communicate a lot, but he's more comfortable. Like the aspirations for him were, I want to be a YouTube star. I want to, he's like, I want to make a ton of money and not have to work very hard. And I'm like,
that's not how life works.
I know.
Like even if let's say, okay, I'll take my example. Let's say I'm doing my podcast right now. Let's say it takes off. Okay. Right. I'm not going to say Joe Rogan, that level, but I want
you to aspire to be the AI babies that they're voicing over for their podcast.
Right. But I mean, let's say it took off and I, became very successful and there's monetary and everything. It's not what I'm going for, but would I go that route if it happened? Yeah, probably.
Of course. Anybody would.
Yeah. But there's still so much work that goes into it to, like, whoever I'm going to talk to, there's research I want to do. Because it would be more than just like once a week, and it would be a whole lot more than everything I do now. I don't do much for this. I don't know if anybody can tell. There's not a lot of production that goes into this.
He's lying. It's a lot of fun. I'm chatting with Chet right here.
Thank you. But I mean, that's a very interesting point though. Like, and I'm not going to say the work ethic, but like the expectations I think are very different right now. And I hope the older they get and like going to college, I hope it kind of whips them into shape.
This is one of the funniest things that I had. My son and I sometimes will have just moments where we do not know how to communicate. I'm a very logical, there are steps things. He is a very kind of artistic, creative mind that doesn't always follow the same steps. So we tend to bump heads together. But I think one day he was mad at me because he was telling me about a kid who was like 15 and his parents said he didn't have to go to high school anymore because he was making so much money playing video games and winning tournaments. And I'm like, awesome. That's fantastic. That's not your situation right now. And I'm like, you have to strive to be the 1%, but plan and understand that you're going to be the 99%. He's just like, no, I want to work my butt off to be the 1% and then fall back on being 99%. And I was like, that mindset, even though we said the same thing, it was a very different idea behind it. And he does work hard, but like I said, even with what was important to me in high school and what I wanted to do is just a very different of what he's subject to and what he sees and what he wants to work for.
Right.
So it's just, we say the same things, but we have different ways of thinking of getting there.
Yeah, getting there.
And
Exactly.
it's very interesting.
I wrote at church, I think it was last week or the week before, I wrote down, because I take notes. It was like, set your goal, whatever it is. I don't care if it's, you have a 5-year goal, 10-year goal, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like a big, big, big goal. Set a big goal.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're probably, chances are you may make it, you may not. That's really not the point. The point is the adventure you have on the way and all these other things that you get to realize on that way, or on, to that, is incredible. And I think there's so many people that just forget, like, there's an adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, I just want to get to the goal. Stop being an asshole. Like, you don't have to attain every goal. The important thing is just trying. Like, just get your ass out there and do, like, try.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people miss that a lot.
Yeah. And it's funny, I'm not a goals person. Like, I do have things I want to work towards, but goals are not a successful track for me.
Yeah.
So I started, I think last year, I challenged myself to either give up something or to focus on something each month.
Okay.
So
that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
sure.
so
Like the short term. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was it was goals, but it was more of a challenge because it was either, so I started off last year with dry January.
And I remember that. Yeah.
I made it all the way through.
Wait, hold on. Let's, for our younger audience, what's dry January?
I did not drink alcohol in the month of January last year.
Heck yeah. Good for you.
And then I made it all the way through and I'm like, I wonder how long I can do this.
I think Katie did that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so next thing you know, I was like 4 months in, I think I maybe drank alcohol one time. Sure. And it's actually cutting out drinking as much as I was. Like, I haven't fully cut it out 100%. Right. I'm not in the sobriety aspect of it, but I have really cut back. I try very hard not to drink at home by myself or even during the week. I definitely, if I am out in public and anywhere near a vehicle, I don't, I just, I
get to tonight because it's Friday night and I'm at home.
100%. And you offered, and I was very tempted to, but I'm like, I've also got a 13-year-old in my car. Yeah. It's not worth it.
Yeah, I shouldn't have offered. I realized I was like, I should not have offered.
No,
my bad.
It's fine. But it was that. And then I think like February, it was not eating out. So I was just, and then, I started doing everything. And then I think it was 2 years ago, I really put the intention of experiences. Okay. I had spent so much time just being like, I don't have the money. I realized I could make it work. Right. And so it's like, if I gave up eating out, I could afford lawn pass tickets. And so then I could go to a bunch of concerts. Yeah. And I've introduced music. Something I got from Tanya, who's very much always had music in her life. I was not that kid. For sure. Mm-hmm. I was the TV kid.
She's my my Friday radio DJ. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll text her and be like, I like, get me through the rest of the day. What you got for me?
Yeah. And now I live and breathe Spotify. Yeah. Hunter does as well. That's good. And we've been able to, because of these lawn passes and because of this experience, we've gone to a bunch of concerts together. Cool. And just...
Favorite concert you guys went to?
Oh gosh. I don't know if I could pick a
favorite. How about just one or two really good concerts? Like,
I've had so many honestly good concerts. There have been a couple that I am embarrassed to say that I took him to.
Oh, what's an embarrassed one? Yeah, come on. Come on.
I took him to Snoop Dogg.
You took him to Snoop Dogg? That's awesome.
It was on my pass.
But that's fine.
I know, but my brother, and it was Wiz Khalifa. It was, I think it was, I've been to it.
Okay, it's probably not fine. So
there were certain songs that I may have covered his ears, and I'm like, what am I doing?
Like, holy crap. Song? Yeah, I probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Whoops, doozy.
But it was fun. Yeah. And so, I mean, we have seen Snoop Dogg.
Dude, how much weed was there? There had to have been so much weed.
I had such a headache. I was so over it.
Holy smokes.
But then it's like, we've seen Imagine Dragons, Pitbull.
You saw Imagine Dragons? How was that?
Incredible. Yeah? Incredible. Highly encourage anybody, go if you can. We have seen Green Day. We're going this year. We're going to Offspring, Little Big Town. What else do we have coming up? I'm going to Dierks Bentley.
Okay, that'll be good.
It's just
there's a worship concert that the girls want to go to. Mm-hmm. Well, I know Jada Bell wants to. Kenzie will be like, yeah, I want to go. That's at the end of July. It's I think Brandon Lake.
Mhm.
I think him and somebody else like Chris Wickman or something like that. I think they're coming
Yeah.
here. So
But I want experiences. And
yeah, that's good.
so I was incredibly blessed that my mom took me this summer between 8th grade and freshman year. We went to Paris, France, and then we went to London, England. And
You went
so,
to Paris
mhm.
and
So
then
for my
London.
14th birthday, I got to eat dinner on the Eiffel Tower. It was an incredible experience.
What level?
The second level, not the
Really?
really expensive one. The
Hold on. I'm gonna let you finish this story,
mhm.
but I wanna. Did you see the video of the people falling? They you know the dinner where they hang from the.
I've seen those dinners.
Yeah. Did you see the one where they fell?
No,
Not fell, but it like. Okay, you keep talking. I'm gonna pull it up so you can see it.
no, I don't want to
Yeah.
see. Don't, nope. Mm-mm. I have enough irrational fears as
No,
it
it's
is.
gonna happen.
No,
So
Chet,
tell me about this.
no.
No, tell me about the Eiffel Tower. I want to
Okay,
hear about the Eiffel Tower.
so we go to Paris, right? We go to the Louvre. We get to see the Arc de Triomphe. We get to do, eat dinner on the Eiffel Tower. And then we went to London for a few days. And so I decided that I told my son 2 years ago, I'm like, I need you to list 10 countries that that you want to go to. And so I told him that based off that list, we would pick somewhere to go when he finishes 8th grade. So that's going to be next summer.
Okay.
Um, his first choice was Moscow. I said, absolutely not. Um, not the climate, my sir.
Right.
I think one of the other choices was I think he had China, Japan. Um,
Really?
yeah. He really wanted to go to Japan. Like he thought Tokyo was super cool. Um,
Huh. I wonder how that came to be.
I don't know. But then so he wanted to do Russia because
Excuse me.
of the architecture. He's seen the like
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh man, their architecture.
right.
Good
It's
grief.
incredible. But and he loves it. He wants to go into engineering. He loves
Is that right? Yeah.
architecture. Yeah.
Huh.
And so we've settled and I
Engineering.
get to start planning. We're gonna do I'm trying to do 2 weeks where we're gonna do Ireland, Scotland, and England.
Okay.
So
What can? How old's he gonna be?
14.
So you can't do the beer tours. I don't think. Can you? Or can you? But he can't drink, and maybe you can.
Yeah, I think that he
Or
may still
maybe
be
you
able
can.
to
Hold
because
on.
it's 18, it's legal over there. But I
Right.
think I
With
have
your
a friend.
parents, maybe.
Yeah, I have a friend over in England. I think he said something along the lines of that. I think if they're in the pub with a parent, maybe at 16 they can have like potentially wine.
See, in
I don't
Wisconsin,
know.
it used to be you could be at a bar with your parent at
Mhm.
I think 12, and you could have a beer with your parent or whatever.
Yeah.
There are
So
several times where
here's the thing:
not normally my parents, but
the child is already taller than me. He already looks a little
yeah,
bit older than what he is. I would not be surprised if at some point alcohol makes it into his system. And I'm not naive to
sure,
think that that's
right,
not going to happen either.
right,
So, I mean, obviously, it's not going to be something that I'm offering and
right.
encouraging and stuff like that. But, I want him to experience the different cultures. I want him to experience something fun. And I've always wanted to go to Scotland. I cannot wait for Men in Kilts.
Oh my
Makes me very
gosh,
happy.
oh my gosh.
But I love the history. Like I want to,
I'd like to go to
I'd
Scotland.
love to see the Highlands. I'm so incredibly excited to go to Edinburgh.
Hmm.
I'm hoping that we can make it to Manchester and Kent.
Have you talked to
Um,
Erica Simmons?
Sometimes I know I need to talk to her about planning this.
Well, no. Oh man, you guys would be fun on a trip together.
I know. And so I was a little thinking at one point, I'm like, it
That'd
would
be
be really
interesting.
fun to do a cruise, like Italy,
Yeah,
Greece type thing. And
yeah, right.
I'm like, it's a little romantic. Not sure I want that. And then I also have, again, my irrational fears. I have a fear of taking my child on a
No,
cruise ship because he is young and dumb and I love him, but I am worried that he's going to try to be cool and sit on a railing and fall off the boat. So I have an irrational fear of taking him on cruise ships.
hmm. It brings up a whole lot of questions of what have you dealt with?
Nothing. I honestly did not have a lot of fears. And
That's pretty funny.
I can't believe I'm about to disclose this. I am
Oh.
so sorry. The first time I took my son on an airplane and we were flying over water,
Okay.
over the ocean, I had nightmares for like the 2 weeks leading up to it that our plane was going down. And I, in my nightmares, had to figure out how to safely get my child and I out of a sinking plane. Again,
And this was a nightmare?
Yes.
Like a reoccurring nightmare?
100%.
Really?
There were sharks, there were safety boats, there were all of the things.
Do you still have it?
Do you
still have that dream?
No, but because it was, once I got through it once, I was good.
So I'm going to tell you about one of my dreams. I can't believe I'm, good grief. I don't tell anybody about this. I can't. I'm going to tell everybody now. Hey,
I've only told my mom about that fear. So,
this isn't a fear. It's a recurring nightmare. Not a nightmare. It's a recurring dream, and it goes one of two ways. I have to go to the airport, and I'm almost late for my flight.
Mm-hmm.
It starts out where I'm good, I'm on time, and then it just gets closer and closer and closer, and I have to keep going back through the security gate to get whatever, and then I have to go through the stupid line again, go through the security gate, then I have to do it all, and it just
on the loop.
And then I'm like running out to the stupid plane, and I can't figure it out. The other one is I'm on the plane, and disaster hits, and I so many times I know when I'm dreaming, and I can usually start controlling the dream. Up until I'm like, well, I need to get up now. I'm done. But with that one, I can never control it. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm dreaming. Like, crap. Well, I should stop crashing now. I'm like, nope. And here we just continue the plane just goes down or whatever. And I'm like, it's a really scary ass dream.
Have you ever had those situations that, whether it's a dream or have you ever thought about if it was to happen, how you'd want to?
Like die? Or
I don't want to say die, but like if I am on a plane.
Okay.
And I don't want to have to experience that time of
like
falling.
The panic. Got it. Okay. Yeah,
I would rather, this is going to sound terrible, I'd rather it be a collision that's an instant type of a situation, right? It's very morbid. It's very
no, I don't
scary
think so.
and weird, but it is one of those things where I now, I did not used to, but I pray every time that I take off. And it's not necessarily that I have a fear, but my fear is not being a part of my kid's life. That was a new level of discomfort that I experienced. I don't fear flying, exactly, I don't fear traveling, but the first time I was on an airplane with my son, it was a very different experience than just going by myself.
You know, it's really funny. Like, you know, what's your biggest fear? Remember where, I don't know if it still is, but it used to be people used to be more afraid of public speaking than dying. And neither one of those really scared me. Like if it happened, it happened, like, you know, whatever. In public speaking, it, whatever. But hold on, I was going somewhere with this and I totally just lost it. Public speaking, dying. Oh, you said something. What did you say?
Not being a part of your kid's life?
Yes, not being a part of your kid's life. When they were younger, it didn't scare me. Like when they were, I would say.
Now it petrifies me.
Now it petrifies the crap out of me. Yeah. It scares, like it's scary to think. I mean, they're still young. If they're older, will it scare me? Probably not. I hope not.
It's a different level of fear.
Yeah, it is.
Right? Like I know if something happens to me, my son is going to have HME. He's going to have his dad and his family. My parents are here. He's going to have a support system. So I'm not fearful of that. But I do have a different fear for him too, that I think is much harder for me to let go. And I try to not let it control the decisions that I make. But my fear is something happening to him young. I want him to experience life. I want him to get married. I want him to, if he wants, I want him to have kids if he wants. I want him to graduate. I want him to, you know, celebrate being 21. I want him to have those experiences. I don't want them to get
hung up on me dying.
It's, you know what? It's not even that for me. I don't want the accident to happen. You know, it's he's driving home from working when he's young and
Yeah.
an accident happening, which,
Yeah, that's a scary one for
or
sure.
the, you know, somebody says it's a Tylenol and it's not.
Yeah.
You know, those
Oh, yeah.
those are the real fears that I live with today, just the way that society is. Like I knew
It sucks that we have
I
to think
yeah.
about that and be afraid of that.
Well, I think about it like I knew the kids did drugs when I was in high school, right? High school.
Yeah.
The amount of kids that have gotten in trouble for having like edibles or vape pens or weed
Or
pens
whatever, yeah.
in middle school
Mm-hmm.
is beyond me. I'm like, it's almost like it's like going back earlier and earlier. And so I think that's more of what it is. So this is going to sound
You mean
terrible.
like it's getting younger or?
I jokingly tell him I show him my love
Maybe.
through threats and violence. Because I have told him if he makes me a grandmother before there's a 5 in front of my age, I will take him out. I will murder
There you
him.
go.
It's not happening. Like, you know, because not that I don't want him to have kids, but if I am 50 when he has a child, he'll be in his early to mid 20s.
Early to mid 20s, yeah.
Right, which I think is very realistic. I just don't. It's not that he couldn't survive it. I'm always going to be there for it, but I just.
What if he brings his freshman year of college? He brings home, Mom, I want you to meet blah, blah, blah. She's the love of my life. And you're like, oh, okay, here we go.
Considering I am where I'm at right now and alone, I hope he does.
Yeah? That'd be cool. That'd be really neat.
I hope that he finds a girl, or if he changes his mind and it's a boy, I don't care.
Yeah.
I want him to find somebody that loves him, that is going to be honest and support him, who's going to be faithful to him, who is going to. I don't ever want to be the crazy mother-in-law, but somebody that is going to embrace us into their life and their family, right? And want to be a part of that.
And want to be a part of it,
yeah. I think at the end of the day, that's all I can ask for.
Yeah. Somebody that pulls somebody away from their family is, I think that's negative. Like it's way too negative, and it's I don't want to deal with that.
I do understand how some people feel that their family may be more important. You know, it's a natural thing to think about, but
what do you mean?
Well, it's like
my family's more important than your family?
Not necessarily, but it's like if we were married, I'm going to choose my family first, right? Okay. You know, it's not saying that I'm not going to make the effort to, you know, make the changes and compromise and all over that. But if you're going to tell me it's either your family or my family, it's always going to be mine.
I agree. Sorry, I have my list of what I wanted to talk to you about, and there was one thing I definitely want to talk to you about. I'm looking through the time, 1:12. Okay. All right. Sorry, and this is going to kind of abruptly change again topics.
That's okay. I love the fact that you had a list and I had no clue what we were talking about.
Yeah, I'm going to try to come up with a list, like some basic topics. Like I know we're probably not going to stick to a lot of it, but like we did tonight, like it at least kind of
this has been fun.
Guides me. You used to be a diver?
I did. Springboard and platform diving.
Okay, give me some background on it. Like give me some meat.
Okay. Let's see. Growing up, I did gymnastics. I then eventually got too tall and definitely did not have the talent. But it was fun to do. Then
gymnastics is hard.
Gymnastics is hard. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. I did cheerleading for a couple of years. I did volleyball, and I went to my freshman.
How were you at volleyball?
I was all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was all right. Definitely was the rec level, you know, but it's like I played in middle school. I tried out in high school. I just didn't quite have the hops like some of the girls did. But so it was going to freshman year. I didn't make the cheerleading team. I didn't make the volleyball team.
You go to a big school?
Oh yeah. Corona del Sol. I think there was.
In Tempe.
Yeah. I
used to live like
700, 800 kids in my graduating class, something like that.
Oh, 700 or 800 kids in your graduating class?
I think so. Yeah.
Holy crap.
And so my mom had actually put me into a camp when I was younger at Arizona State. It was actually run by the head diving coach there.
Okay.
And they would do summer camps. And so you would literally go all day, but they would, you did the training, but then you also did,
Right.
they had us, you had lunches and stuff like that. So
What's the training like?
um, honestly, it's a lot of fun. Just like with anything, if you dedicate yourself to it, you'll get better at it.
And this is the diving, right?
Yeah.
Like, so how do you start? Like, how old were you're like
so I think
17,
I did camp.
16?
Well, no. So I did camp, I think, when I was, fifth, sixth grade.
Okay.
I think maybe seventh. And then so it's like, it was something I did during the summertime.
Right.
And my parents were like, we don't have a babysitter. You got to go do something.
Yeah.
And then so freshman year,
Maybe
did
that's
not.
what I should go with.
Yeah.
Maybe
I did
we don't
not
have a babysitter. Get out of the house.
Right. Dude, sports are great. Just getting your kids busy is great. So didn't make volleyball. Found out that my high school had a swimming and diving team. It had already been going for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, can I join? Can I
come
try?
hang out? Yeah.
And I fell back in love with it. And it was about control and speed. And I definitely did not have. So when you're training and you're learning something new,
Right.
your coach will usually scream like some sort of a noise to tell you that is a time for you to kick, or like for you to like come out of trying a new skill. So you can practice on with like a pulley system where you can practice it beforehand, but then you literally just have to get the guts to go up onto this diving board and throw something you've never done before.
How high was the diving board?
So I competed for 1 meter and 3 meter. So like low dive, high dive.
Yep.
I did some platform between 5 and 7 meters.
How's that feel when you miss your dive?
It's that impact.
God, that's gotta hurt so bad.
My wrist still something, but
it shakes your whole body, right?
Oh yeah.
God.
And if you're it's crazy enough, if you're not squeezing your arms enough by your ears, then sometimes your head will like go another way and you'll creak your neck in the water. It's fun. But you just have to literally just go up there and try something new. And
you ever face plant?
100%. Off of the high dive, flat on my stomach. I've done it. Man. I've landed on my stomach. I've landed on my back. I have hit the diving board.
What's the Yeah. What do you mean? You hit the diving board?
Yeah. I got a little too close. I was doing a reverse 1.5. So basically you go off the diving board forwards and then you flip back towards the diving board.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was a reverse 1.5 flips, and I kicked out and I hear and my hand, like basically my hands like hit the diving board. And so my head was about this far, I think, away from the diving board, but my hands took the impact.
Wow.
But but I ended up competing like 2 weeks later.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was fun. My reaction time was slow. So it's crazy to think about, but you think about drag racers, right? Yeah. They have seconds to take
milliseconds,
off, right? When you're flipping 2-3 times, you have seconds to where you're going to land perfectly, or you're going to be short.
Or you're going to be short. Yeah.
You're going to be over. And so when you're learning something new, your coach will make a noise, something to tell you now is the time to do it. And that delay between...
But they can't do that during competition, right?
No. But it's you're then trying to get this...
muscle memory.
Yeah, the skills towards it. And so, there were times that I didn't have the best reaction times. It was what it was. I competed all through high school. I also did club. I think the best I ended up, I think I took 4th in state my senior year.
Okay.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed it.
What was your favorite dive? Oh, wait, hold on. Let's go from, you said you did
so on the high dive, it actually was a back 1.5 straight.
A back? So the one you just explained.
203A. So it was a back 1.5 somersaults straight in the straight position. So you literally took off straight and flipped. It was the funnest thing. You just got to whip yourself around.
Fun. Okay.
I love
How long did that take?
That actually was one of the easier ones to learn. Yeah, but it was fun. I hated reverses, but I did them. Twisters were a good time. I loved doing handstands off of the platform. That was also fun.
You could do a handstand?
Mm-hmm.
No shit. Sorry to swear.
It's been a long time. I probably could still do it, but we're not going to try.
No, come on. Here you go. Right there.
No, 100% no.
All right. And the platform was what was your favorite?
Oh, probably just any of the handstand versions.
That's
And
interesting because you got to like,
and I think
right? You got to kind of like push or something like
yeah,
that.
the craziest thing though is the first time I went off to the 10 meter. So it's about 30 feet in the air. What you
Oh my
don't
gosh.
think about is that not only are you 30 feet in the air, you're then looking into a diving pool that the bottom of the pool is 18 feet down.
Right.
So the perception when you're looking down is so much higher. And
Oh,
so the first time it took me a while, but the first time I ever went off of the 10 meter, I literally just had to stand at the back of it and just run. And you just ran
Yeah,
off
and
the end
just
of it
right.
to get used to it.
Start getting your nerve up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Huh.
we had
That's
like
pretty good.
from time to time we'd have like some football guys that just wanted to come and like
Hang out.
no, they just wanted to use the pool. So
Oh, okay, sure.
yeah,
Right.
watching grown men get up to that 10 meter and whether or not they're going to go off of it is incredible. It was so much fun
because they're scared at that point. Like that, like that's where the reality hits them, and you're like, this is not a good idea.
Yeah, but I mean, I got to meet Olympians. I got to train with some of them.
That's cool.
I've got to see kids that were on my team compete at college levels, and it was a really.
Do you still watch it in the Olympics?
100%. I look forward to it every summer.
One of my favorite events.
Yeah, between
the Olympics is coming out next year, right? The Summer Olympics.
No, summer again's in 28.
Oh, winter's next year. Okay.
Yep, and 28 is going to be in LA. So if I can all of a sudden come up with thousands of dollars, I would love to be able to go. 100%.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be neat. I'd like to go to the Olympics.
I jokingly, I mean, I'm somewhat serious, but I'm joking at the same time. But my son wants to play tackle football. And so for the last couple of years, I'm like, can you just give me another year to protect your head to, before we're getting the pads on, right? And
does he play flag right now? What is he?
Yeah, he does. He's mainly just done flag for the city. He did not make his middle school's flag football team, but they needed boys for volleyball. And so I told him, he's just like, for a while, he's like, but Mom, I want to play in the NFL. And I'm like, I want to raise an Olympian, not a professional football player.
Exactly.
And he's just like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, they have men's volleyball in the Olympics. They have soccer in the Olympics. They have this. And so it's just like opening his eyes up to different things. I want to get him in a pool. He is long
different
and
opportunities.
lean. I think he would do fantastic in it. He doesn't want to do it. And that's fine. So he has played volleyball now. He absolutely loves it. And I think it's the sport that he's going to want to invest in.
That's good.
So
that's good.
Yeah. I'm like,
that's fun.
It's amazing. It's so much fun to watch. It probably gives me a whole lot more stress than I thought it ever would. But
some of our good friends, their kids, all three girls play.
All the girls do.
Yeah.
The Miller girls.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so, I will say it was so much fun watching the progression grow and now one of them is going off to Quincy. So it's awesome. It's so cool just to watch stuff like that with the kids.
I meant to reach out to her to just kind of get an idea of what it was. So the craziest thing is, my son made his school volleyball team, then he also made the school soccer team. And we were there at soccer, and I noticed that one of the kids on the other team was one of the boys that he played against in volleyball.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know how it happened, but I just so happened to literally be sitting next to his mom. And so I knew that they were from the other school, but I didn't know it was his mom initially. And I walked out and I'm like, hey, this is going to sound really random. I'm like, but do you know that kid's parents? I wanted to ask them something. She's like, oh, that's my son. And so I told her about my interest of wanting to have my son try club volleyball. And I asked her, I'm like, does he play? And she's like, he does. She was so kind.
Nice.
She sent me the Instagram groups. She told me about 2 or 3 different teams.
That's cool.
She offered me her phone number. She's like, my husband coaches. If you have questions, let me know. She gave me incredible advice. And it was from a woman I had never met sitting next to her at a soccer game that I just decided to take a risk and ask a question to.
That's awesome.
So it's amazing what you can learn just by
being random.
Asking.
Yeah. There's a guy, I think I want to text him again and ask if he wants to come on my podcast.
Yeah.
It's the guy I took a picture of, him and his son at Good Friday service. I don't know if you heard that episode, but Erica was on and she asked me, she's like, when's the last time you cried? And I told the story about Good Friday and he was the guy holding his kid and whatever and reaching up. Anyways, and I think I'm going to text and be like,
Good.
it was very random, but I would love just to talk to you and hang out with you and talk to you for like an hour or so.
Hey, it's worth it.
I think it'd be kind of neat.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see if there's anything else I want to talk to you about. I have like random questions too. You know what? Let's talk about sandwiches.
Sandwiches?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sandwiches is a thing on my podcast.
Okay.
Whether you like them or not. Maybe you used to like them. Maybe you like them now.
I do like sandwiches.
What's your favorite sandwich if you have a favorite?
Oh.
Or a place?
Oh, place. I'm not going to lie. I think right now my go-to would be Firehouse. Subs.
Really?
Yeah.
They're pretty good. I like their bread.
Yep. Good bread.
Mm-hmm.
Their hook and ladder on point.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'm so basic when it comes to sandwiches. I'm like, give me some mayo, some meat, cheese, maybe some lettuce.
Shut up. You're that easy.
100%.
You're like Jada Bell.
So I have started making breakfast sandwiches, but I make open-faced breakfast sandwiches. So it's like a piece of bread, a little bit of mayo, turkey, put a fried egg on top of it.
Oh, there you go. That's good. That's
happy as can be. But yes, I do like sandwiches. I probably would lean more to wraps, but very basic. Give me some turkey, bacon, lettuce. I'm good.
Oh, see, that's good too. That's like a good club.
Mm-hmm.
Or a turkey club.
And a normal club sandwich, I take it apart and eat it in pieces. Please do not ask about some of my food stuff. You can talk to Tanya about my food stuff.
Oh, you got food stuff?
Yeah.
Give me one. Give me one of your food things. Come on, give me one of your. Can your food touch?
Yes.
Okay, well that's good.
But it has to be in evens.
You're an even person.
I'm an even person.
Oh, you're so weird.
M&M's, Skittles, Smarties.
And you're aware it doesn't matter, right?
100%. Okay. French fries, they have to be similar in length, and I eat them 2 at a time. Anything that is colored,
French fries, you can't take like a short one and then a long one.
If I am forced to at the end, I will, but I will try to grab one that are close to the same size. I separate them out by color and eat them in evens. Tanya,
really?
My best friend, I love her, but when she had me for Secret Santa, I wanted to punch her in the throat.
What'd she do?
So she knows I love Smarties. Just so you know, there are 15 Smarties in a wrap.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So she gifted me one Smartie.
Oh, that's hysterical. That's amazing.
Yeah. So I threw away my least favorite color, and I eat them in order based on my favorite colors.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Huh. So with Smarties, start with the white ones.
Oh, you do have a food
ones,
thing.
Green.
I don't think I have a food thing. Maybe I do, and I don't know I do.
Mm-hmm. But I don't care. I'll mix them. They can touch. That's fine.
That's interesting.
I tend to.
I'm gonna look to see if there's anything else I had. Diving, graduation. What did you want to be when you were younger?
Oh gosh, I totally wanted to be the model.
I
did. Mm-hmm.
Did you ever try any of it?
I did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, I did. Beauty pageants for a little bit.
Oh my gosh. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It was.
Huh.
And it's so weird now, like knowing like just like the way that my body has changed. But I think that I don't know what happened. I think maybe it was around like end of high school going into college that I didn't want to be the pretty girl anymore, but people didn't take me seriously. So I just I mentally, I think, sabotaged a little bit. And then I still was a firm believer for a long time that when I had dark hair, people took me more seriously than when I had blonde hair. So
is that right?
Mm-hmm. It's weird. I got over complexes. It's fine.
I wonder if that's a thing. I never really noticed that.
Hey, listen, it
makes sense. People are like, oh, she's a blonde or, whatever.
Yeah, I make jokes about it now. I tell people I use this because I pay for my hair color for a reason because it's a built-in excuse.
Yeah.
I just have a blonde moment.
Huh. All right. So I have 2 more things. Before I do you have any questions, any topics, anything you thought about in the last hour and 29 minutes? Wow, you're my longest guest so far.
Honestly, I've just had fun doing this.
Okay.
You and I chit chat. It's great.
We do. We definitely chit chat. All right. So the first thing I want to do is I want to shout out to the graduates that I know that are graduating this week, next week, whatever. So I'm going to try to remember all of them, and I'm totally going to forget names, and I really, really apologize. I suck with names. Shout out to Maddie, Lily, Jenna. Let's see. Emily M. Um, Emma. Emma's a friend of Lily that I kind of got to know her a little bit this year, sort of randomly weird. She was in like every sport. I was like, oh, okay, you're
There
in
you
this
go.
too.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if she would be like what is a cousin's daughter?
Second cousin.
Okay, second
There
cousin.
you go.
Yeah, yep. And she just graduated. She got lots of awards. I think quite a few people I just talked about they're getting awards too. So congrats, everybody.
Yay.
Cheers to graduation and your next step in life. It's an
Class
awesome
of
adventure.
2025.
Absolutely. All right, last thing I have for you. Do you have any, if you look back on this in 5 years, what do you want to tell yourself? Or what do you want to remind yourself of?
I'm glad I asked. You know,
Yeah.
I think, like I said, I changed my mind to experiences, and sometimes it's just about putting yourself out there. And so
Yep.
I don't think I'm somebody that has all of the advice. I don't think that I'm somebody that
I don't think anybody does.
will,
Yeah.
whatever, but this was fun. At the end of the day, I got to sit here with my friend and chat. And,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
yeah, I mean,
all right. Any 5 years, like what's your advice that you would want to tell Hunter?
take risks.
Yeah.
Try everything. Take risks. Don't settle.
Don't settle. That's a
Yeah,
good one.
you're not going to experience things unless you take the risk.
Yeah.
So
Don't sit on the sideline.
no, I mean, try what you're comfortable with. Don't be stupid.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Yeah, it's okay to make mistakes. We learn from them. Mm-hmm. It's what you do. It helps to build you, right? Yeah. He is not a mistake, but he is the best unplanned thing that I ever had happen to me.
That's awesome.
Because I got pregnant, I bought a house, I built a career, I was pushed to grow up to an extent. And so you have to take the risks. Just because it may be unplanned doesn't mean that it's wrong.
Right.
Learn, never give up learning. Just
oh my gosh, right?
Learn, eavesdrop. It's talk to people.
Yeah.
It's don't put yourself in risky places, but if you want to start
how to
a business,
get out of them.
Yeah, if you want to start a business, plan, but talk to the people who have experience, learn from the people that have been successful at it. Just put yourself out there to try different things.
Yeah. I like it. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
All right. Well, Kelsey, I really appreciate you hanging out on a Friday night.
Hey.
It's almost 9:00, so I'm going to let you
no way.
take off. Yeah.
I really hope they're not out of the park in the dark playing volleyball
no,
still. But
I'm sure they're not.
Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. Thank you. Cheers.